Hi, this is John Ondo from Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes. And before we get into today's episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. We're back after being gone for over 4.5 years. And I hope you get a chance to listen to episode 77, where we explain why we were gone for so long and that we're back for at least 3 more episodes. Angel and I are big supporters of entrepreneurship, and we love small businesses and faith-based businesses. And we just want to encourage you through our podcast each week. What's going to determine if we continue with more episodes will be the response. Subscribe to us on your platform. Send us an email at john@ondomedia.com. That would help us know you're listening and you want more episodes. So thank you so much, and let's get into today's episode. What shouldn't you say when you talk to somebody in a commercial or on the phone or in an email? Those are what we're going to talk about, the 7 words you should never, never, never use.
This is the small business podcast that is sweeter than all the rest. Marketing, media, and cupcakes.
Hello, I'm John Ondo. Along with me is my beautiful wife, Angel.
Hi there.
She is a customer service pro. She's all about customer experience and also has a cupcake business on the side. And I am a filmmaker, media influencer, and we are both about building relationships with our customers and our clients. And we want to help you with that, with best practices on those things with our podcast. So we do that every week, and plus we have some other fun. And later today, or not today, later in the podcast.
Yes.
It's not going to be a 24-hour podcast, although it may seem like it. We're going to talk about vanilla as our dessert segment, if you will.
Correct.
And vanilla seems simple enough, but actually you're going to explain a little bit how it can be a complicated thing.
I'm going to demystify what the difference is between using a vanilla flavored extract versus pure vanilla extract. When you should use them, when you shouldn't, price points and things like that.
Gotcha. And the thing that Angel's really good at is taking something just very basic and adding a little zhuzh, as you call it.
Yes, I like to zhuzh it up.
And so this is a good way that you can zhuzh up some stuff.
Correct.
But you don't want to buy the $150 bottle, I guess, is the big thing. So,
I'll explain the difference between when you should use the expensive version versus when it's okay to use the
less expensive.
Exactly.
Which is an excellent segue into what we're going to talk about today, because you don't want to say cheap.
I don't want to use that word?
No. Or economical is not a bad word. But we want to talk about the 7 words you should not use in just communicating with your customers and clients. So in the first part of the show right now we're going to get into, I'm going to talk about, since I'm a television media guy, words you should avoid in your copy, on your website, in emails. And then Angel in the middle half of the show is going to talk about, I don't know if you can have a middle half of a show, but like Middle Earth or something. But she's going to talk about, from the customer service standpoint, especially with the call center and communicating with customers, words you should not use. When you're doing perhaps radio, television commercials, or even if you're doing a post, man, and so many businesses now are firing up the Facebook Live and saying, here we are, we're doing this. Things you want to avoid, and I know it's difficult. This is why I always say hire a professional like myself to help you along. But here's a few things you should avoid. And this one's going to be kind of funny when I say it. You're going to go, what? You should avoid the word quality.
Okay, why is that?
Because it should be obvious. It's whatever it is you're making is quality.
This is true.
It's one of those things, it's funny how we've mentioned that the last couple episodes also could be applied not only to business but to dating.
Yes, you have mentioned that multiple times.
So it's almost like, you would never mention, I'm a really honest and quality person, would you, on a date? Because you're like, you expect me to be an honest and quality person.
There is some hope.
So same thing. It's like this is a quality product. Well, I would certainly hope so.
Yes.
So avoid the word quality. And what you're going to see in these words is there's not necessarily evil words that are going to destroy your business, but they kind of kill. They kill time, especially if you're dealing with radio and television spots. If you're trying to build an Instagram video under a minute and you fill it with a lot of these adjectives, it doesn't help that much, and it makes you think, well, why isn't it this is high quality merchandise. Why wouldn't it be?
Exactly.
Because nobody goes in and says, I hope you enjoy our low quality merchandise. So don't throw those words in. So that's the first one, quality. Another one you want to try to avoid is contract.
Okay.
Now, I know when we talk about cell phones and things like that, there's always a contract. But for a lot of people today, contracts are not popular.
Correct.
I avoid those now when I see people saying, we'll lock you into this contract for 1 year. That just tells me after that year, it's probably going to spike. Avoid the word contract. It doesn't mean that you should not have a contract with, I certainly appreciate and do contracts with my clients, but I just don't mention that in my advertising.
Correct.
So don't do that. That's a turnoff. Another one is guarantee. Now,
That's the worst word ever.
Now, when I say guaranteed, I'm not saying necessarily a money-back guarantee is a bad thing, although there is a level of, hey, if you don't really like our product, send it back. That does create a little doubt that you might not like the product. Now, again, the one thing I will give everybody a little bit of a I hate to use the word cop-out, is that you have to know your audience. So maybe you have got some ridiculously radical product that most people would be afraid to try, but when you offer a money-back guarantee,
Sure.
that's certainly appropriate, and I get that. But when you don't want to say we guarantee or satisfaction guaranteed. You can't guarantee my satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
I've had many things that I've bought that I was satisfied for the first 3 months and then realized later I didn't like it. So guarantee is not a word you really want to, again, put in your ad copy.
Yeah, I think it kind of diminishes what you're doing unless you're selling something that's at a super high price point. I think, again, to John's point, what are you selling? What are you trying to do? These things where it's like, and I've literally never wanted to, the whole, like certain mattresses that
Mattresses do it a lot.
They say 100 nights, satisfaction guaranteed, or you can return it. My first thought is, how in God's creation am I going to return a mattress that I don't like?
Right.
So that just sounds like a pain in the rear.
And exactly my point is what we talk about in television and more in movies. It really applies to anything in theater or anything else. You want to be... it's literally like hypnotized by the product, and you're like, oh, this is interesting, and then you say something like, well, you can return it for free, and now suddenly you're out of that, and you're like, wait a minute, how am I going to send that back, and what happened? Oh, you're going to screw me on this, and now you're out of the hypnosis, if you will, of, oh my gosh, this is so great, that we've put you in. So, guarantee, again, you can have the guarantee, but don't necessarily confuse it in the spot, or you could say you can return it for free. I think if you said, a mattress, you can return it for free, or you can, I know there's stuff that they've had vitamins that you can return the jar empty and get it returned. So again, a return for free makes me a little bit more like, okay, you're kind of blanket statement saying it's going to be free.
Sure.
I don't know if you say return it for a full refund always works, because there's always some catch in that sometimes.
Oh, there's always a restocking fee or something.
Yeah. So guaranteed, not something I would put in there. Be careful about that. The next one, this is something that happens often, is discount. And this is what most people don't realize is why you don't want to use that word. Now, obviously, there are places that their brand is discount.
Correct. Progressive Insurance.
A lot of tire places are discount.
Oh,
and
yeah, discount tires.
and everything else. And that's fine. And I guess to a level degree when you say like a discount tires, but you're buying Goodyear, Firestone, Pirelli, or whatever. So you're buying the tires. Really, beyond that, it's the service of them putting the tires on and whatever else. So I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, but discount is, for example, we're offering a 50% discount, or we're offering a 25% discount. Well, suddenly now you're showing that your prices were too high, and you can cut some of the overhead, you can cut the fat off. Or you're doing what a lot of people do, and I did this in the first few years I was in business, and I had a buddy of mine say, "You're an idiot. You're not charging enough." Because I was just like, I will get whatever price you want, just name it, I'll do it, because I was desperate for work in the early days, as all small businesses can be. So you don't want to discount, because the problem is you suddenly become the 50% off guy. And if you are doing high quality work, you're doing great work, you don't want to be discounted. You want to actually have high quality work. So
yeah, and John gives me that all the time as well.
Absolutely.
About for my cupcakes. I'll tell friends, I'll give you a friends and family discount, or I try to tell somebody who I can tell was a little bit concerned about the price point, that I can, do it for a little bit less, and basically at the end of the day, it does kind of, diminish the perceived quality of the product. If
Yes.
you're willing to drop the price back that much, then what is that saying? Oh, are you using a box, or are you not spending as much time, or whatever it may be? So a discount can work in certain areas, but is not necessarily the best phraseology, if you will.
Unless you have some kind of miraculous deal with your business and your products that you can offer a discount and make more money.
Yeah.
There's just no reason to do that. I think in our culture today, everybody likes to say, I have the better car, I have the better table, I have the better chair. Nobody likes, we all love to say, hey, I got this at a discount, or I got this at 50% off, or I found it at a garage sale. But, for your product, and this goes right into our next one after discount, is cheaper. You don't want to use the word cheaper. I know it's a very common phrase we'll throw in just, because we're not thinking, but you cannot use that word cheaper, because you think cheaper means the price. They offer it for 10, we offer it for 5. But what cheaper really means is their quality is better than mine and I'm cheaper.
In most cases, yes, that is exactly what it means.
So you don't want to use discount or cheaper, because you said it just a moment ago. The perceived value is so important. Steve Jobs was the master of this, and Apple still is, but Steve Jobs was the one who set this up. Whenever you buy any Apple product, if it's the headphones or the smallest of the items or the iMac, you have to unpackage it, and the boxes are like, the most fancy boxes in the world.
Yes, they are.
And, Steve Jobs referred to it as it's at that moment like you would open up a piece of jewelry, a jewelry box that you open up and go, oh, and that's the effect he had when you open a new iPhone. And I don't know if Google and Android and those guys do the same thing, but I mean, when you open up an iPhone case of any product, it's like there is there it is.
Yes, there is.
And so it is, and that's something we talk about a lot on this podcast, is creating an experience for your customer.
Yes.
And I always say to Angel with her cupcakes, folks that are paying you to make a cupcake or a specialty custom cake, isn't that they want to eat a cake. It's they want that, oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah,
and
they want the wow factor.
That moment is why they pay $70 for a cake or $40 for a set of cupcakes or something like that. That's the experience, and that's the the flour and all the stuff. It tastes great, and that experience is also important. But it's that what you're paying for. So the same thing with your products, depending on what you're doing, that makes a big deal. So saying all that to upscale explains why I don't like discount or cheap. If you want to, let's just face it, make more money, you need to upscale, unless you're dealing in volume and you just are kicking out stuff and you make money in volume. So these are a couple of words. Then the last one, 6 and 7 here. This one it bothered me for a long time. When I worked with a youth-centered organization that was targeting youth, we had people in charge that would just continuously make us use the word cutting edge. And I despise that word beyond words now.
Sure.
Because, again, it's almost like the word, going back to the top, quality. This is a really cutting-edge, product.
Yeah. What does that mean?
What does that mean? And it typically just means you're trying to force your style into it. Because let's face it, I cutting edge is typically referred to more youth things. It's something new. It's something fresh. And it's very rarely that you ever have to tell people that it's cutting edge, because they'll figure it out. It's,
they already know it's something they've never seen before. So saying it is kind of a waste of space. And
again, I go back, I would have to go through before I say this, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I don't think Tesla's ever used the word cutting edge. It's like cutting edge electric car or or SpaceX or anything like that. It's, people will say it's the cutting edge of technology or whatever, and that's great, but it's not a word. Don't use it. It's just, it doesn't help. And if anything, it flags you as possibly being out of date, quite honestly. At least to me it does. When somebody comes up, we want to really be cutting edge, I'm like, that means already you don't even know what cutting edge means, and you're just trying to label it.
Because it's old. I mean, it's old vernacular, if you will, from when we started having what would be considered cutting edge technology.
Yeah.
And today, technology changes
Daily.
so quickly that you're over the edge. We're beyond cutting edge at this point. It's happening. The edge has been cut. We're moving on.
A quick illustration. My stepson, your son, Zach, has a streetwear brand.
Yes, he does. No Luck Clothing.
I would call it cutting edge. He would never call it that. But,
No.
but the point of it is, he's not even, if you said, well, I'd like to check that out, well, you're going to have to look for it because that streetwear, that thing is not in the general public.
No.
It's something you got to dig into streetwear. You'll find him, noluckclothing.com.
Yes.
But that's the whole thing is the cutting edge isn't really public. Cutting edge is really a reference to something that's like dark market being developed. By the time it shows up at Target, it's 3 years old. It's been developed, it's been marketed, it's been,
copied.
all that stuff. So I always was amazed when people would say, well, this is really cutting edge. And I'm like, that came out 4 years ago. But so by the time you get to copying the cutting edge, you're already 4 years off it. So don't use the word cutting edge. And the last word isn't really a word. But boy, it drives me nuts when and I have people do this all the time. Don't use www, or even worse, www.whatever.com. No one has to put the www before your website. It has been, I think in 1996 when I was on AOL. If you didn't put the www in the AOL browser, it wouldn't work right. But ever since I think 1998 or so, you no longer need to put the World Wide Web, www.something.com. And this is what drives me nuts. Every script I get from so many of my clients who are, I'm consulting them and I work with them, it's like, take that off. Because first of all, time it. www.ondomedia.com. You just lost a second and a half of your copy time to say something you don't even have to say.
Yeah.
Ondomedia.com. AngelsCustomCupcakes.com.
I love it. Have you heard the ones where they say HTTP? Like, I've heard them even say HTTP. And then I smile.
And again, and you're not really on the cutting edge when you do that.
I think I'm somewhere back in 1992.
Yeah. So drop W. You don't have to put it on your website either. I mean, unless you're actually typing out the hyperlink. Otherwise, leave it off. There's no need to put the www anymore.
No.
So please, for the sake of all that's good and holy, don't do that. So let me review these real quick, and then I have a couple bonus features. This is the bonus thing. So,
bonus.
So anyway, number one, quality. Don't need to say quality. Your product should be quality. Contract. People don't like contracts. You can offer a contract, just don't talk about it in your commercial because it freaks people out. Guarantee. You can't guarantee anything, so don't put it in there. Discount and cheaper, put them both together at 4 and 5. You don't want to discount your stuff, makes it lower value, cheaper, with the exception of if your business is some kind of a discount thing. That's all you can do, but don't do discount or cheaper. Upsell your stuff. Cutting edge, don't use that term. I explained it, and obviously keep out the www.whatever on your website. A couple bonus things, and these are just other phrases to cut out of your commercials, web copy, whatever. Life-changing. Life-altering. Well, and oftentimes the problem is, I'll let you do life-changing if you've created like some type of cancer solution.
Well, sure.
That's life-changing. I've created some kind of heart transplant, product that's never been heard of before. That's life-changing. Toothpaste is not life-changing.
Depending on the person who's brushing.
I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to insult those of you who are in the toothpaste industry. Just don't use the word life-changing. Great tasting,
highly effective,
cavity reducing, life-changing. I don't think so.
I don't know. I've had a few people tell me my cupcakes have changed their lives.
Well, and again,
but that's just the volume of sugar and butter involved.
And you see, that's the funny thing. You could do life-changing cupcakes, and that's kind of almost a parody phrase.
Correct.
These are people, because people get that. The other one is limited offer. Limited offer is just, it's kind of like, hey, you can get the price cheaper now, and then we're going to raise it back up, which makes me wonder what you normally do with your stuff.
So I have to tell you this little story about limited offer, because I've gotten this limited offer And I wish I had started keeping track somewhere when I upgraded to a specific system that I use here for my finances here at home. Every other day for the last probably 4 years since I switched over from a Microsoft-based to a Apple-based product, I get a last chance, hurry, offer ends today, literally every day.
Yeah.
And I got another one this morning that said, hurry, last chance today. And I'm like, it's been the last chance for 4 years.
Well, I know here in Columbus, Ohio, about 5 or 6 years ago, there was, I can't remember now if it was a furniture store. I think it was a furniture store that they had the little sign spinners on the corners for a year. Going out of business, going out of business.
Yes.
And finally,
they did.
I don't know who did it, and God bless them for doing it. They took somebody to court and they said, you cannot say going out of business unless you are going out of business. So God bless you, whoever did that, because that kind of stuff drives me. And this is the whole reason, nobody trusts anything anymore.
No.
And in as much as I would love to change that perspective, I can't.
Nope.
So we have to make sure your ad copy, your internet, your emails, your direct mail pieces don't use some of these words because they just make people go, oh, here's another shyster.
Yep.
Because they use certain words that when we all have those, and you could probably add 20,000 words to this from your own experiences. There's certain words, in my case, cutting edge is a word that just triggers me every time because of some personal experiences. So just be very aware when you read your copy. And something I always suggest to everyone, including myself, because Angel will be the first one I say, hey, check this for me. Put another set of eyes for any copy you write. You'll be surprised how many times you'll come back and they'll say, this kind of makes me feel like this is cheap or it's something is dishonest here when you say this phrase. Trust those folks. Don't say, the worst thing you can do when somebody comes up to you and gives you an honest evaluation and says, I kind of feel like this ad copy makes me feel like you're ripping people off. Well, I'm not trying to say that, and you try to defend. No, trust that they picked that up and they possibly saved your business or they gave you a life-changing piece of advice. So those are the 7 words. We'll have those in the show notes, and now we're going to get ready to hear what Angel's thoughts are. Angel works in customer service. You've told us many things you shouldn't say and you deal with a lot of phone calls.
I deal with a lot of problems that result in phone calls.
Yes.
So where I have to make a call or someone is calling me. But over the years and having to listen, I monitor phone calls as well. So they're pre-recorded or... Well, it's not pre-recorded. They're recorded and then sent to me, and then I get to listen to them.
Because you're the person that they say on the phone is being recorded for quality assurance.
Exactly. I am quality assurance.
Well, and again, if you're sitting back, like I say, I have a video production company, but I deal with people on the phone. Whatever the business is you're working with, you have people who call you up and they have questions. Doesn't necessarily mean they're upset. They have questions. So you have 7 words that we should not use. And is this also email, phone calls, in person?
It's really it's the little thing. I mean, it's funny as I read them. They're calling them this the 7 deadly phrases because some of them
phrases,
they're really
okay.
phrases.
Okay.
In the sense of, but once you start to hear them,
like,
you will.
You are a moron. Is that a bad one to say?
Definitely one that's not on the list because you just shouldn't say it. The first one that they have on here is I don't understand. And that right there, whether you do or don't, and anyone, again, I don't know if anyone that knows me listens to this or not, you will find out that is never, I don't care if you've been there.
Is that your number one?
No. Oh, no. There's almost all of them never say it, but
Okay.
I don't understand.
I don't understand, yeah.
You can ask, again, I always say it's taking a phrase and turning it into something else.
So I would typically say, could I clarify?
Could I clarify?
Okay.
I'm not sure where you're coming from. Could you help me understand?
Okay.
Versus
I don't understand.
Which
is basically saying I'm a moron. Yeah, that's what it's saying.
Well, it's maybe saying you're the moron, as in the customer. You're telling the customer
you're speaking a different
you
language.
don't know. I don't understand.
Gotcha.
I just don't understand.
That's
so it's
really
kind of
good.
putting it on them where you may not be, You know what I'm saying? So
the
so
problem
I don't understand.
The problem I'm going to have with all these, it doesn't apply at all to these media ones I had a moment, because all these I'm applying into my head of my kids.
Oh,
because
well,
how many
yeah.
times I get a call and the kids will go blah, 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 and I'll go, hold on, I don't
Yeah.
understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I'll have to work that, because that's not helping.
Well, the next one that they have is, which it says kind of similar, I'm not sure, or I guess.
Ooh, I guess that's bad. That's real bad.
Yeah.
I guess so.
What I've always kind of said to anybody is, if you say something with authority, then they can't question it, whether you know it for fact or not. So you don't say, well, I'm not really sure. Okay, well, you've already they have zero confidence in you now. It's why did you bother? You just pretty much, or, well, I guess that'll be okay. Okay, it's not, you're not a 12-year-old, asking if you want pepperoni in your pizza. I guess
You can't do that.
The next one is, there's nothing we can do.
Oh.
Wow.
There's nothing we can do.
First of all, that sounds like what the doctor says.
Yeah, that's when you're
about to pull the plug on
Yeah.
someone. I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. I'm fairly confident.
Would you like to donate the
there
organs?
is something you can do. The problem is, again, you never say that. There has to be another way to say it. To say, even if I have no other options, I don't have anything else I can offer, but to just say there's nothing we can do.
See, I always do the reverse of that. I'm pretty sure when I had the call the car warranty Pope. Yeah, it was probably a Pope. The car warranty
The car
folks,
Pope.
The car Pope.
Mm-hmm.
And of course they said, well, it's 100,000 miles. And they didn't say there's nothing we can do. But I think I'm sure I went back to them and said, is there anything you can do?
Yeah.
Is there, please give me some, well, yeah, you could bring the car in and pay $1 million and get the little light to go off.
Yeah.
But
which I'm sure it's not $1 million, but still.
it's if it's beyond $100, it's $1 million to me.
So here's the next one, which I had I don't know if you want to call it pleasure or displeasure of actually sitting many years ago, sitting outside the call center area and hear someone say this.
Oh boy.
And I knew it was
nuts?
only a matter. Well, I just knew it was only going to be a matter of an hour or less before I got a phone call from somebody.
Okay.
The person told the customer, calm down.
Oh!
Talk about match meet gasoline.
Oh.
I mean, it was, ma'am, you need to calm down.
You could really use all of these words in mine and in yours. And really, if you go back to last week's podcast when we talked about the customer service and listening, these really, we should just repackage these two shows into things you shouldn't do on dates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because calm down is not something.
No.
I think if you had said that on our first Tinder date, I would have probably said, I would have said, sorry, there's nothing we can do.
I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. Well, it calmed. I mean, just think about yourself in daily life. When you are legitimately having an emotion over a situation and you are feeling that, and then someone who doesn't understand it or doesn't share the same feeling believes or thinks that by telling you to calm down is going to help.
Do you know my daughter?
I've met her a few times.
I mean, this is all she does to me. I'm trying to Elaine, what do you have to do for your college thing? Dad, calm down. I'm asking a question. Where do we send the check? Dad, you're not listening. I'm going to get to that in 20 minutes.
Yeah. So
I should call her up now and we should just go through these things with her.
So calm down is you might as well just hang up the phone after you've said that, because that's not going to end well for you or anyone else.
No. So did the person get fired?
No. No. It just was but I did get
You did get the call from the person.
I did get the phone call, and then I had to bring the person in the office, and then I was just like, and then I listened to the call, and unfortunately, she probably did have every right to say it.
Down. So what would you say instead of calm down? Is there a workaround on that? For
me, and this is, again, I think there's a personal preference, and I'm sure there's 50 other things, and we can talk about it. I have learned that I have to be silent.
Okay.
Because what someone is doing by acting in a manner that would require or cause you to say, ma'am, sir, you need to calm down, all you're doing is heightening the issue. So silence is probably best.
Take me into the inner thing, and you may not be allowed to tell me what I'm going to ask you now.
Go ahead.
Is there ever a case that somebody is worked up and they're kind of losing it? You say, could you just hold on a second and put them on hold and just have a cigarette for a minute? And thinking that might calm, and you come back and then you can maybe restart the thing?
Never.
Okay.
And I say that only because putting someone on hold that is already that heightened, and in our training, it's you need to get confirmation that it's okay to put them on hold. Yeah. And if you have someone who's already heightened and you say, can I put you on hold for a second? Unless you're saying, can I put you on hold for a second while I get my supervisor? Then maybe that would be okay.
Okay.
Can I put you on hold for a moment to see what I can do?
Yeah.
Just saying, can I put you on hold?
Yeah, no, I'll say, I got to put you on hold for a second to check on something. You don't really check on something, but you're just kind of cooling them off. But then again, they're probably not going to cool off, you're saying.
It just depends on, depends on how you say it. I have listened to many a phone call and a lot of people, and again, because of, and I don't even want to say it's necessarily my years of training per se or my years of doing this. It does have something to do with the tone of my voice. It's one of the reasons I married you. It has. I've said it, and I've had people tell me, I think you could tell me my dog died, and I'd be okay with it.
Well, you would be a mess if you had to tell someone.
Well, yeah, I'd be a hot mess. But it goes back to the tone in which you say it.
I'm getting out the idea. We have an idea card we keep on the table, and I'm going to put down on the idea card that while my daughter Elaine is back from college here over the break, we're going to do a role play where you can help us communicate with each other.
I think that would be fun.
Because, again, Elaine would be the one, and I would say, calm down. And no, I'm going to frame you for murder. So, anyway.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Okay, so calm down. Yeah.
So calm down. That's impossible.
That's impossible.
That's impossible.
Yeah, because anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
With money.
And this, again, goes back to another podcast. We have so few things. Depending on the customer service department you work in, the company you work in, some of you, God love you, you may have no tools in your arsenal. We have a couple. And I always tell people, wield them when necessary. And there is nothing that's impossible. Now, when someone says to me, I need that order today, I need it in an hour, and they're in Idaho,
right,
and my closest warehouse is 16 hours away, I'm not going to say that's impossible. I'm going to say I'm unable to accomplish that, or I'm unable to fulfill that, or
in that time
something.
Frame. Sure.
It's all a word game. That's what I've always told people. It's all a word game. This one is not bad as long as you finish it up. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
So again, they say that's what you. But again, here's what you've
got to give some kind of a time frame. Probably
I'll get back to you. Don't ever tell them you will if you don't have any intention to. Because that is the kiss of death. If you tell someone you're going to follow up, you're going to call them back, and you don't, well, your reputation is crap. I'm just going to plain and simple.
And I say this all the time in my emails to clients because everything's time deadline related with my work. I guess everybody's is like that. So like today, we're working on scheduling something, and I don't like leaving loose ends. Well, blah blah blah. What dates do you have available? I sent back. I have these dates available that we can shoot. I prefer this one. And would you please be able to lock that in for me within the next 48 hours? Because I can't leave that wide open, and then in 2 weeks they call, hey, you said you had... Yeah, I had that date available 2 weeks ago. It's gone now.
Exactly.
Because you didn't call me back or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The last and final one on this lovely list, I do believe we've gone through them, is the proverbial no.
No! Can I get on the airplane?
Just a hard no. There's just, again, I don't know. I've always told people, break out a thesaurus, Google, words that sound like words that can be used instead of. There are 50 million ways to tell somebody no. So there's 50 ways to leave your lover.
So what's another way to say no?
Say, I'm unable.
Okay. But not I can't, not it's
I can't.
Impossible.
No. When they say, again, you should never ask yes or no questions.
Sure.
Because we'll have customers who come to me, people who will send, I've mentioned before, wanting to do business with us. And certain criteria that they don't meet, I would love to just fire back a not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
Can't. And we do all that. And they're like, what is the criteria? And it's like, they want to know. And it's like, I'm not able to tell you. And like, can I just get a yes or no? And we never still say, yes, we're going to do this. Like, unfortunately, we are unable to
fulfill this at this time.
Yeah. So
Sure.
it's just,
because
it's all
because if
wordplay.
you say it's because you have a business in Minnesota, and then they'll say, oh, okay, well, we also have a business in Arizona. Now he or she has just met your criteria for why you say now you got to do it all over again, right?
Yeah. So it's just trying to say, it's just like, nobody likes to say no. I mean,
I know a few people who like to say no.
I'm not a fan. Ask anybody. I hardly ever say no, and I always feel guilty for
can
days
think of
after.
2 kids in the back seat. So would you like to get a burger? No.
Well, that's them.
Yeah.
You don't ever tell me no.
So I want all my kids to listen to today's podcast.
They're never going to listen to it.
No.
They're never going to.
All right. So run me through your.
So I'll run
list
through
of
these,
gifts.
and I thought that the order is not necessarily the same, but I don't understand. I'm not sure, or I guess. There's nothing we can do. Calm down. That's the worst one ever. Don't ever say those words to anybody. That's not possible, or that's impossible. My apologies. I'll get back to you. And the ever-loving no.
No. Well,
Yes.
again, her email is angel@marketingmediacupcakes.com. If you've got some additional words you'd like to throw in there, you can send her an email. You can send us an email via the website. It has a little box on the bottom. You can do a CAPTCHA thing and get frustrated like I do. Or there is, if you use your desktop or a iPhone with Safari, you can actually record a message that we could use on the show, and we would love for you to say that. We had a couple of folks actually from last week's podcast sent us and said that one friend said that she was sending it to her supervisor for the just for better listening habits, and then another person just sent me a message today saying you guys just really do a nice job on your podcast. So we appreciate that, because otherwise we don't know what's going on.
This is true, and it just dawned on me. You should post your call center terror.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Simply because talk about not listening.
Yeah.
100%.
That's still
in that
one of my favorite films.
And it's a cute spoof.
That's a little short film we did back, oh my gosh.
It was before me, baby.
So it was like 2013 or so.
Yeah, but
and
call center terror.
Call center terror. I'll post that. Actually,
I think you should.
I will post that on our social media, some links and stuff,
Yes.
and you can watch that.
It's so funny.
It's a good film to do that.
It's a good laugh.
I am a big vanilla fan.
Yes, you are.
I actually prefer vanilla over chocolate.
Yes, he does.
I have no problem with chocolate. If you ask me, would you like vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream? I always like vanilla. Chocolate is very rich. It makes me very thirsty.
Yes.
Even the cupcakes, I don't know. It's just how I am. So what Angel's going to talk about in this segment, you're going to have to kind of help me out here, because I am a barbecue guy. I am not a baker, but she has these great tips on how you can really zhuzh up your desserts, or maybe you can do your coffee or something like that with some of this stuff.
So what I'm going to try to do is demystify vanilla. I went on a quest a few years ago to really understand what I was purchasing and what was best to use when. So,
because unlike chocolate that comes in many different forms, vanilla typically is a clear liquid thingy that.
It's not clear, it's brown.
Okay, it's brown. See, I didn't even know that.
It's most of the time they'll put them in brown bottles so you can't see.
Because nobody wants to buy a brown liquid.
No, not that. It's just cheaper. And it's somehow, you want a brown liquid. It's just you want it in a 32 ounce with liquor.
I want it with whiskey, yes.
Yeah, that's the kind of liquor or the brown liquid he'd like. But no, I want to share, and I'm actually Googling this.
Okay.
So everyone can.
We'll put it in the show notes.
So there's a difference. So the word pure, when you see pure vanilla extract, signifies that the vanilla is made from only natural vanilla beans, water, and alcohol. Most imitation vanilla, so those are things that say vanilla, even vanilla flavor doesn't fall into this category. It's imitation vanilla extract. They are a weak solution of naturally derived from I can't even say that word, something and wood pulp, or an artificial derivative, meaning synthesized in a lab. So here's the thing. You've either got pure, which is literally exactly what it is. It's natural. It's literally vanilla beans. You can make your own vanilla, and I'll go into that in a second. Or it is literally chemical. It is a chemical combination that gets you to that flavor.
So the extract is the authentic?
No.
No.
Pure. They're both extract. They're
So
called extracts.
Both extracts. One's
Pure and one's imitation.
Okay. Pure and imitation, and the imitation doesn't mean it's bad. It's just a different flavor,
So basically,
different purpose.
Exactly. So what I tend to do, so anytime you see pure vanilla extract, you're going to also notice a price hike. Sometimes almost, 100%. If not more than an extract, than an imitation.
Probably because it was imported, it's got other things involved, and yeah.
So if you can make your own, and there are tons and tons of sites to do this, I personally didn't find it. This is just me. It's a great gift idea in the sense of being able to make your own vanilla extract. It's literally vanilla beans and a certain percentage of alcohol, clear alcohol typically. You can use a bourbon, but most of the time they use vodka.
Okay.
And you just take that, certain percentage and certain ounces of beans, and you kind of put them together, and then you just let them sit. So it is a process. You have to let them sit for months and months and months, but that will get you a pure vanilla extract.
So give me an idea, Angel, what I would use a pure extract for.
So the times you want to use pure extract is when you're not heating the product.
Oh, okay. Because
you're not heating your recipe. You're not heating something.
Because the alcohol comes out of it or something?
Well, what you want is that what you're trying to achieve when you're eating something that hasn't been cooked, you want all of those ingredients to be as fresh.
I see.
I guess I could use the word pure as possible, because you're getting that there's nothing, coming out of it. Whereas it's totally fine to use a imitation vanilla in your cakes, your cupcakes, your brownies, your baked goods, because what you're only trying to get is that essence of vanilla within all these other flavor combinations. So there's no real need to waste that really expensive vanilla in a baked product.
So is it an effective rule of thumb, pure for non-cooked, like a whipped cream,
yes,
or something like that?
Exactly.
And then the imitation for baking.
Yes. So I guess the rule of thumb for me is if you are not cooking the item. So if I'm making a vanilla pudding, and yes, I am cooking it, I still believe, because that is the primary flavor you're trying to achieve, that you should use the pure vanilla extract, because that's the flavor you want, even though the vanilla may be thrown in at the end where it's heated and some of that alcohol may burn off. That's what you're trying to do. Now, if I'm adding vanilla to a batch of chocolate chip cookies or to a brownie, and I'm going to bake those, I am not going to waste my expensive vanilla. I'm going to use my imitation, because all I'm looking for is the essence of vanilla in the background, because there's other flavors that are coming forward.
So one more clarification, because when I hear the word pure, I often think of it's like high octane or something like that. So is 1 ounce of pure and 1 ounce imitation completely different, or do you just use drops of the pure and gallons of the imitation?
They're the same exact thing.
Okay.
There's the same exact thing. Where you get into, which is a very good thing, and some people would argue, a lot of cooks that I've watched, definitely on YouTube and on different food channels, they prefer using an actual the bean itself. They'll use the beans within the little seeds that are in the vanilla bean, and they think that itself is much even better, because then there's nothing involved. You're getting the pure vanilla versus messing with alcohol and all that good stuff.
So is vanilla like chocolate? Because I know chocolate, you can't do just the cocoa beans. They're bitter and they're not.
No, you can literally do just the vanilla bean. And the difference in chocolate, like you were mentioning, which could be a whole nother segment with different levels and whatnot. But with vanilla beans, it has to do with the region that the bean is grown. That will get you the different flavors. So depending on if it's Madagascar vanilla versus an Indonesian vanilla versus a Mexican vanilla. It's where those beans, of course, then the flowers that are on the plant that get pollinated by the different areas. So you end up with a different flavor.
I feel like we're talking about whiskey barrels now.
It's literally
It's the same
very,
thing.
very similar.
It's something how everything in life is really about how you can adjust it, so forth. So So for those listening who are, again, not at the level you are with your baking and everything, and they're like, well, you know what? I will impress my boyfriend, girlfriend this weekend by making something with a vanilla extractor. Give me a quick thing.
Here's my thing. Spend the money. You don't have to spend the ridiculous amounts of money I do, but have in your pantry a good bottle of pure vanilla extract, and you have a bottle, 2 or 4, because I do, of the Imitation. And only use that good pure vanilla extract if you're going to be making something. For example, which some people always freak out about, but truly it's just time, is making whipped cream. During this time, during any time of year, who doesn't want whipped cream? Whether it be on a piece of pie, whether it be in your coffee.
In your coffee, that's what I was exactly
Or a special Sunday breakfast and you want to put some on for the kids. It's literally cream, and you can look up a recipe. It's heavy whipping cream, a little bit of powdered sugar. I don't use granulated because it takes too long to dissolve. A little powdered sugar and that pure vanilla.
Little drop or two.
It's just follow the recipe, because I can certainly find a recipe. Depends on the volume that you're trying to make.
But you're going to notice a difference.
You will 100% notice the difference when you use a pure versus the Imitation, because you can just taste that metallic-y kind of, for me, metallic-y, almost medicinal kind of back flavor from the Imitation, which you don't find when you use it and you've baked it and you've cooked it.
See.
So that's the big difference. But I say always have a good bottle of pure and as many different bottles of your Imitation as you'd like.
Excellent. That's great, and we'll have those items in the show notes. Angel is a small business owner, has a home-based cupcake custom cupcake company, I guess,
Yes.
a business here at home, and business is busy, always busy this time of year as we're in the holidays. And speaking of holidays, next week, Terry and Nay Dismore are going to be joining us.
Yay!
And we are going to discuss on next week's show what we should do about goals. 2020, of course, was a dumpster fire for many people, but on the flip side, and I say this, I think a lot of people have learned a lot of things. It's almost like we went through a mini depression this year. And if you talk, my parents grew up in the depression, and man, they learned a lot through that. And because of that, they had different best practices. And I think a lot of us are not going to do things quite the same anymore.
Correct.
We're looking forward to 2021. We're going to get businesses up and cranking. So how do we set appropriate goals? How do we do the best thing for our businesses to get back up to where we were, but at the same time, not do everything the same, because we don't know what's up next, because things are weird. So we're going to talk about that with Terry and Nate, because they're excellent at goals. They both own small businesses. They'll be joining us next week, and we would love to hear other ideas from you. We love our listeners, and if you've got some suggestions, comments you want to think about for best practices to increase your customer experience or the relationship with your customers, shoot us a line. We have a website. It is marketingmediacupcakes.com, and we're also at that same handle on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We're starting to put some of these things up on YouTube as well, because we're all in at this point, and we would love to hear more about what you like. So shoot us a line. You can also record us a question on the website, and if there's anything else we can do to help you with your business, that is why we are here. So until next time, keep living the dream.
Connect with John and Angel via Facebook and Instagram, and let us know your thoughts. Marketing Media and Cupcakes is a production of Ondo Media.